for sure that Hilary was not going to be getting out of prison. Since we were introduced to them so late, I was either convinced of one or two things. Either she got out and didn't tell him and just ghosted him and the camera crew, or maybe she pretended she was going to get out sooner than she thought. Or two, they're going to for sure be coming back on Life After Lockup, and that's why we were introduced to them so late. But I was surprised to see her actually get out and go home. Well, to not go home with him, but she did leave the prison and go out to eat with him. So we have Charlie, aka Hollywood Red. Somebody called him Bret Michaels, and now I see it every time I look at him. But anyways, he is about to go pick up Hilary, and he's all excited. But here's the thing. I didn't know this until he said it this episode. Apparently, when he was working with Hilary, he had short hair. He looked normal, like he just had no makeup on, no eyeliner. He didn't have his little blingy belts or belly shirts. He was just strictly professional. And he said that Hilary has never seen him with the eyeliner, his long hair, and his eccentric outfits. So I'm very curious what she's going to think when she does see him all done up, when she's used to this and now she's going to see him like this. But apparently he sent her some videos, so it's not going to be like she's completely caught off guard, but it's a drastic difference, that's for sure. We see Charlie, and he leaves his house, and he said, look, this is the last time I'm going to be leaving my house by myself, because he's on his way to go pick up Hilary. And here's the thing. He plans on proposing to her as soon as she leaves the prison grounds. I don't know where he plans on doing it. But here's the thing. He said he's unconventional and he's not like the rest. So Hollywood Red, instead of proposing with a nice, flattering diamond ring, which I'm sure the way Hilary's been portrayed, she would love something like that, especially a nice expensive ring. But he's unemployed, so he's trying to say he's unconventional and he's unemployed, so he probably want to spend a bunch of money. So instead he got her a toe ring. I'm like, this girl is gonna be so pissed. I know if someone proposed to me with just a toe ring, I would be freaking pissed. I would probably say no and tell them come back when they got something better, because I mean, when you're engaged, you want to show off that ring to everyone. You want people to see that you're a married woman. If you have a toe ring, nobody's gonna see that shit unless you're wearing flip-flops and it's like in the middle of summer. Either this man is stuck in the 80s or he's a huge Austin Powers fan, because every 2 seconds he's like, yeah baby, yeah. He's like, he's such a sassy man. He's like snapping his fingers saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna add a little pizzazz to my eyes when I get to the prison. I'm gonna put my eyeliner on. It's gonna be snap crackle pop, as he sits there and clicks his little fingers together. Charlie finally pulled up to the prison, and it was time for him to do his eyeliner. And he just didn't do his eyeliner like a normal person does, with a nice little line under his eye. He had to do it like a good 1 inch wide underneath his eyes. His eyeliner was large and in charge. And he ends up walking up to the prison fence, and I'm not gonna lie, this made me laugh because it kind of shows like how naive Charlie is. The man walks up to the prison gates and tries to open them, like with all the women sitting out at the yard, and he thinks, okay, I can just open up the door and get my girl this way. It's like, no, that is not how it works. And I guess they had Hilary out for a minute before Charlie actually showed up. I don't know if she was like on another side of the prison, but they were sitting there interviewing her, and she was fully changed out, talking about how excited she was to finally see Charlie. And Charlie's sitting there like yelling at the women on the yard like, hey, I'm here for my girl, just waiting for his girl. And finally Hilary was released. She ran up to Charlie, and I thought he was gonna propose to her right then and there, but he didn't. They were just sitting there kissing, and I was actually shocked when she said she's actually into the eyeliner. This man had a thick ass fur coat, and it looked like this was the middle of summer. I'm like, damn dude, aren't you hot? But he had a thick fur coat on, and she came out, and for some people that would like kind of turn people on or turn people off, like if they're too eccentric or if they dress too crazy, because it brings too much attention, and not everybody loves that kind of attention. But Hillary's actually for it. She thinks it's sexy. She loves the fur coat and the eyeliner and the whole get up. So I'm like, oh, maybe they are perfect for each other, because she actually is into all this crazy shit that he's into, and she's for it. But Charlie's concerned that she may not stick around because he said, look, I'm a brokey. I have nothing else to offer but my love. But that actually might be perfect for Hilary. Like, Hilary keeps talking about how she's always been with rich men in the past, and that may make her very materialistic. But come on, she's 58 years old. She's been in and out of prison her whole life. And I'm sure most men who are successful in their careers, if they know someone's been in and out of prison their whole life, and they're damn near 60, I think that would be a turnoff for a lot of successful men. So I think her options are definitely dwindling down to the point where she's going to kind of have to accept somebody at where they're at, and even if they don't have the best financial situation. But I mean, kind of, does Red even have any room to date right now if he don't even got money like that? But it definitely seems like he has some kind of savings to be able to live off of. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's full on struggling, but it definitely seems like he needs to figure something out. She gets out, her and Charlie are jumping up and down, so excited. And Charlie just says the most random things out of nowhere. Like, he'll do the whole snap, crackle, pop thing, and he's like, oh yeah, this is fabuloso. And for some people, they would think that kind of stuff is cringe, but it seems like she actually enjoys it. She says so far that Charlie is exceeding her expectations on the way that she feels about him. And she started opening up about her past. I guess she got arrested when she was 55. At the time of filming, she's 58. And here's the thing. Okay, so I'm filming this, like, as I'm watching this, like, I'll watch little parts and do my little recap, and I'll watch a little bit more, do a few more minutes. And I was there thinking that she had been in and out of prison her whole life and been using drugs her whole life. And for me, that was actually a little surprising because, I mean, she looks good for being in her late 50s. Usually when you have somebody who's been running wild in the streets their whole life, by the time they hit their 50s, 60s, it really starts to catch up with them. Like, you really start to look how you feel. But for her, she actually looks decent, and it makes sense because I guess she hasn't been in and out of prison her whole life, which now makes sense why she was with so many professionals in the past. She was just one of those women, it sounds like, who kind of was the housewife that just liked to be at home and take care of the house and use the husband's shop or credit card. That's the kind of woman she was, it sounds like. And she said that she went through a really tough divorce. And I can't remember when she said she went through this divorce. I think it was in her 40s, she said. But after this divorce, it just really messed her up, and she just started getting in a lot of trouble afterwards, and she just couldn't stay off drugs. And it's hard to tell if she's really into Charlie as much as she is, because first she's like, oh, there's no complaints about Charlie since I've been out. It's hard to tell if she's just saying that for the cameras, or if she really feels that way, because she goes from saying that to the next second saying, oh, Charlie is a lot to deal with outside of prison, to the point where she needs a damn cigarette. Charlie takes her out to like some Chinese place because he had a gift card for this restaurant, and they're sitting down, they order their food, they're waiting for their food, and all Hilary has is one thing on her mind. Like, when you're somebody who is a cigarette smoker and you go to prison, unless you're done with cigarettes for good, the first thing you want as soon as you get out of prison is a damn cigarette. And that's all she could think about. So she goes to the bathroom and she's acting like she's changing this dress that Charlie got her. And she tells the producers, hey, can we kind of wander around and try to find a cigarette? And they're like, okay, I guess, but you gotta walk past Charlie on the way out, so what are you gonna tell him? And she's convinced that she can sneak past him, and she did. Honestly, I was shocked she snuck past him, because I could see her sneaking past him by herself, but the fact you have a whole camera crew and the audio guys and all these producers that are cutting through the restaurant with her as well, you think he would notice that, but he didn't, because he was like balls deep in his phone, scrolling on his phone. Apparently she can't get no cigarettes, because if that was her, I would have made Charlie get me a pack of cigarettes as soon as I was released. Apparently Charlie won't do that for her because he said cigarettes are against his religion, and he thinks cigarettes is like a gateway drug, which is just so crazy. Like, and a lot of times when people are like getting sober, and say someone wants to cut out drugs and cigarettes, a lot of times people recommend don't do it all at once. Just do the drugs and then slowly tamper off the cigarettes afterwards, because sometimes it can do way too much and it can have the opposite effect if you try to cut everything else out at once. And I think she just needs to be honest with Charlie and say, okay, yeah, you may feel that way, and if you want me to, I won't smoke around you, but I'm gonna need to smoke some cigarettes. Because the way she's sneaking around, it's like how a dope fiend sneaks around from their parents, trying to hide the fact that they're high or using drugs, and to sneak around just for a damn cigarette, that's gonna be too much. And then freaking producers, they had her walking all around downtown asking all kinds of people for cigarettes. I don't know why she didn't just go to the smoke store, but I guess she doesn't have any money for cigarettes, because I mean, if she had money, you'd think she would do that, just go buy a pack. But she's wandering around aimlessly asking all these people for cigarettes, and like 8 people turn her down. And I'm like, damn, the producers are doing her dirty, because they have a big film crew between the sound guys, the producers, the cameramen. You can't tell me that not one person on that crew does not have a cigarette, where they could have just been like, oh, here's your cigarette. But no, they need the content. So they're going to have her walk around. All these people are saying they don't got cigarettes. Finally, she comes across this young dude who gave her a cigarette, and she was sitting there smoking it. And she said, this is the best cigarette of my life. And anybody who smokes cigarettes and went to jail and got out, you know exactly what she's talking about. Then after her cigarette, she went back inside the restaurant, and that's when Charlie noticed her walking back in, and she's like, oh, I had to text my mom, but I don't think I did it right. And he's like, man, she's been gone for 30 minutes. She's supposed to be in the bathroom changing, but here she is outside texting her mom. But I mean, I think that was a good excuse to say that. So I mean, if he does get mad, she could be like, well, hey, I mean, I'm trying to just talk to my family. But she thought she could just rush to the bathroom and wash her hands and wash all the cigarette smell off of her. And I think, I mean, maybe that might help, but cigarettes, like, when that whole smell is all over your whole body, I think she's going to have a hard time fully covering it. Like, she needs some perfume or something. But even then, if you don't smoke cigarettes, it's hard, it's easy to pick up that smell when somebody smoked within 10-15 minutes of had a cigarette within the past 10-15 minutes. It's easy to be able to tell. And so she goes back and sits down and tells him about trying to reach out to her mom, and he gave her these cowboy boots and this dress, and she actually looks cute in the dress. But as soon as I saw her give her the cowboy boots, I'm like, oh, this is not a good idea to be wearing on your first day out, because you know she's going to be walking all over the place. They're going to be making her walk over here to do confessionals. She's having to walk all downtown to get cigarettes. She's going to be doing a lot of walking, and when you're not used to heels or boots, that's going to start killing your feet after a good 20-30 minutes, and she's going to be miserable. So I think he should have given her something a little bit more easier to walk on, and then let her have boots like when they decide to have like a dinner out or something in the future, but not for like your whole filming day, your first day out. She's gonna get tired of those boots quick, I'm sure. But let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. How do you guys think this proposal with this toe ring's gonna go? I'm very curious to see that in this next episode. But let me know what you guys think about everything else with this couple, and thank you so much for watching.